Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craft Tree. Today I wanted to start a little series on my hand stitching. And so I'm going to call it Keep Me in Stitches. There's probably going to be about 8 or 10 different series for this. Each time I will show you how I do a different kind of my hand stitching. So a few tools. Just you can kind of see them laid out. This is just something I made, and it is just a sewing needle into a piece of cork, which I use to poke my holes. I like it because it leaves a nice small hole. You can use a piercing tool, pretty much anything you want. It depends on how big of a hole you want. I have these little goodies, which are from Stampin' Up, and I just use this on the end. I've got 2 different sizes, and some of them even have some shaped edges, which I actually have not used yet, but I'm planning on it. But you can also make your own template. These I just did with a ruler and marked. There's just 2 different widths, so I just used my ruler and marked them along. This one here I just pierced freehand just by going along. So then I could use this as a template and just put it down and just poke through. Or you could just freehand straight on your paper that you want to sew. I also use, this is just cheap craft foam that you buy. I buy it at the dollar store. I glue about 3 of them together. You can see that this one's been well used. It's almost time for a new one as it's getting kind of thin in the middle. But it's cheap, it's easy, and it works great. So today is going to be about straight stitches. Now I've done 2 different kinds. Now whether these are the proper names, I don't know. It's just what I call them. So you can see a row here, which is the single straight stitch. And then up here is the double straight stitch. So, and on the back, so here's your single, and there's your double, which look the same on the back. I like to make my stitching so it looks good on both sides, so I don't have to back it. But no matter how the stitching is on the back side, it still looks good anyway. So I usually use embroidery floss. Sometimes I will just use sewing thread. I normally just use 1 strand. Today I'm going to use a bigger needle and bigger thread just to give you a little better idea. I'm hoping in the video it will show up a little bit better. So normally I use 1 strand and a beading needle. So to start with the single straight stitch, and again this is how I do it. I'm sure there's tons of different ways. So we are going to come up in the first hole with our needle, like so, and I just hold it on the back. I just hold the thread until I get going. So then I'm going to go down the second hole, then I'm going to come up the third hole, down the next one, and up. So this one is actually very easy. As I say, it's just kind of down and up, down and up. Hopefully you can see it all okay. So I didn't do it very long piece just because I didn't want you to sit here forever watching me poke the needle back and forth, back and forth. So you could easily leave this like this. Oops, got a knot. Which you would have a running stitch, which the back looks the same. So to make what I did, then I just come back up in that hole. So on the back and the front will both the solid line once I'm done. So, and on this one, the way that I'm doing it, the front and the back are exactly the same. Hopefully my fingers aren't getting in the way. And the size of thread you use and the size of the needle all varies on the kind of effect that you want to get. So there is the running stitch on the front, and there it is on the back. And to finish it off, I usually just tie a knot, like so. And then I'll put a little dab of glue on there, just so the knot doesn't come undone. And then you can either leave your strings longer, or you can clip them off. Okay, so now for the double straight stitch, let's get the needle threaded again. I would be lost without one of these little things, just because I can't see the needle, eye of the needle most of the time. And they're really nice to have for the beading needles, because they are very small. Okay. So the double straight stitch is done a little bit different. So I'm going to bring my needle from the back and bring it to the front. And the same thing, I'm just going to hold the end with my finger. So now I'm going to go down the second hole. Now when I come back up, I'm going to bring it up the same hole that I started on, like so. So now I'm to the front again. So this time I'm going to miss that hole and go in that one. And I usually hold my thread down like this, because I like all my threads to come up on the same side. So now I'll go to the back and I'll go into that hole there. I'll bring it up and I'll pull it. So now over on this section here, I have 2 stitches. The first one I did, then the second one. So now this time when I go down, I'm going to miss that one and go into that one. And again, you can hold that down or not. Either way, it works the same. And then I'm going to come up there. So now when I pull that again, now I've got 2 stitches over every spot. So now I'm going to miss that one, go in this one, and then come up. And then again, not that one, but this one. Like so. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way down to the end of my row, or however far I want to go with the stitching. So on the front side, I'm always going to go into the hole, the first free hole as I'm working along. And on the back, I'm going to go backwards and hook up with the stitch I've made. Hopefully that will make sense. I'm almost on the last one. Hopefully I don't come out of frame too much. So now I'm going into the last hole that I have on my row. And you can end it two ways. I could end it like that, or I can come back up here and then go down that last hole again. Like so. You get a much thicker stitch this way. And they both have their purposes. I do tend to use the double stitch more. I use it a lot when I do my pin embroidery as well. So now for this one, oh, let's see, like I got a whole bunch of knots there, which is, there we go. So now with this one, you do end up with your threads, one at each end. So I usually just do a little half hitch in the back. You could do almost any kind of knot. And I will put a little dab of glue on that as well. So here you have your two straight stitches, the single and your double. Then on the back, your single like this, but your double looks the same on the back as the single and the double look the same. So, but they still look neat and tidy and still looks good. Anyway, they would look good anyways. We all know on the junk journals that any stitching is good stitching. So that's the series, the first in the series of Keeping Me in Stitches. I hope to post one about every week or every second week as I have time. The next one will be a zigzag stitch, so which I use probably the most out of all the stitches that I do. It's simple, it's easy, and it's great. And I also attach beads to these, and that is one reason why I use the beading needles, is because then if I want to add seed beads, I'm all prepared to, which you would add them as you came up and was going down. I'll show this attaching the seed beads in a few different ways as well in some of the series. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it makes sense, and I hope you are able to use these in your journals. Hit the subscribe button, you can hit the bell and the thumbs up, whatever you like. And thanks for watching. Bye.